Welcome to episode 2 of Life as a Full-Time Braider, a transparent, safe space for braiders to get to know their audiences better through conversations. Today, my special guest deserves all her flowers. She's worked with some A-list clients from Ludacris, Crept, Conan, Michael Boateng, Kaz Crosley, Mr. Easy, Joshua Boatzy, I hope I pronounced that right, Purcell Ascot, and many, many more. So welcome the beautiful Shannon.
Hi.
Shannon, could you just give us a bit of background about yourself?
So I'm Shannon. I'm 28, nearly 29. I'm originally from Brixton, actually. I heard you
Oh,
said that you
nice.
lived
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah. I've been doing hair now for the past 4 to 5 years. And yeah, I don't know what
yeah.
else.
Nice, nice. Now, before we actually get into the
Yeah.
conversation, I have a little bit of an icebreaker. It's just a little fun game.
Cool.
So, barbering or braiding?
Everyone always asks me this, and I can never choose.
Is it like a balance? Like,
It's a balance. There is one that so on a day-to-day basis, I feel like I have a day off when I'm just cutting hair. When I'm braiding, I feel
it's a
like
lot.
I'm working. I'm
Yeah.
really working. So if I was to say, if I was to choose today what I'd rather do all day, it would probably be barbering. But I can't choose as a whole. Like I really love doing both. So
Yeah, that's lovely, babe. Simple fade or articulate design?
a clean fade. I like design. I would say design.
Because I've seen some of your
Can be a
designs
bit more
actually, and they
creative.
look quite neat. Like, I don't know how you get the symmetry of the lines. Do you have to use like a ruler?
No, just
Literally just your
a
hand.
comb.
Oh,
my
wow.
eyes.
Wow.
Sometimes as well. The mirror as well, 100%.
Yeah.
If I don't have a mirror, it's hard to
Judge it.
symmetry. Yeah.
And lastly, twists or locks?
I would say recently locks.
Yeah.
But I do love a twist. I do love a juicy, springy twist. So.
All right, now going back to your childhood, what did that look like for you?
So I am one of 8 children. The oldest girl, the second oldest altogether. So I have 6 younger siblings, an older brother, and I was just everyone's hairdresser at home, really and truly. I went to school. I love music, so I always thought I'd end up in the music industry in some way. I just didn't know how and what I would be doing. So I did a lot of experimenting as a kid, like learning different instruments. I wanted to be a producer at one point. But then at home I'd always be doing hair. Like I would be literally begging my siblings to let me do their hair. And to the point where they're crying, they're trying to fight me. I'm just like, no, sit down. So yeah, that's in terms of my childhood, how that consisted of.
Sums up, yeah. Do you feel like, so it was more like a passion thing for you at the time, braiding, isn't it? Or do you feel like there was a balance between music and braiding?
I felt like my passion was music.
Yeah.
It still is. I love music. But I would say braiding was always there. I just didn't know it was a passion. So as a kid, as a little girl, I always asked for the doll heads to braid and plait their hair. I've even found some recent pictures of me. Like I would have a big afro and I've braided the front of my hair, tried to learn how to plait. I used to beg my older cousins that could braid to teach me how to braid. They can never teach me because the way that they braid anyway is still the opposite way to me.
They
so I can never grasp it. Yeah. I can never grasp what they were actually doing. I can never learn. But then I taught myself just braiding on the doll heads. And then again, once my siblings' hair was able to be braided, I would try and braid their hair.
Now, you said that you was the second oldest of...
Yeah.
Did you feel quite pressured in setting an example for your younger siblings, or did you feel like you kind of had to take responsibility for sometimes caring for them? How was that for you?
Yeah, definitely. I'm the second mom out of them. But it was always I have 3 younger sisters, 3 younger brothers. So definitely for my 3 younger sisters, I always wanted to be an example. So I would literally teach them everything I love. Anything that I was interested in, I would show them.
Oh, that's cute.
So yeah, even now, up until now, there's one of my little sisters, she loves music. Another little sister loves hair. One of my other younger sister likes doing hair as well. She's pretty good. But yeah, it's always something I was interested in. They always followed suit, and I teach them as much as I could.
Oh, nice. That's lovely, man. That's good. And I was actually going to say something else as well. We'll leave that for next time.
Sorry.
So, okay. What is the best thing that's ever happened to you in your personal and career life so far?
Um, okay, let me start off with career. 'Cause I'm trying to think personal. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Career. I would say. Okay, I wouldn't say happened to me, but the moment that I think like, okay, this is a moment I always look back on is like you mentioned, I did Ludacris's hair for Fast X, and my mom growing up, like when I was younger, my mom loved Ludacris, so he was so kind as to on two occasions sent my mum a video like on her birthday, and another time sent my mum a video just like sending her love for her birthday because we had a conversation once and I told him how much she loved him. So like just that moment and just letting like she kept that video on her screensaver. I think she still has it now, to be honest.
Just that appreciation that she probably felt. Do you know what I mean?
And just like doing from what I do, like just kind of passing on that feeling, you know, to someone else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And to be fair, that is actually on Ludacris's side, that's actually a really great act that he's done, because you know
he's so
sometimes you
cool.
can get like stuck up celebrities, if I say it. Sometimes they don't really want to share pictures and they don't want to do all of that stuff. So for him to actually step out and remember what you actually told him about your mom liking his music and stuff like that
he's so cool. I did his
great.
hair for like 6 weeks, so we built like a strong connection. He was really cool. Like so yeah, I feel like even that video that I recorded of him, that was like the 4th time I did his hair or something. It was like, it wasn't any of the first few times of me doing his hair. So at that point we had already built a connection. He was telling me, oh, post a video, like, and I was like, he was just so cool. He's very humble, very down to earth. So.
That's what I get across camera. I've never met him, but that's what I get across camera. Quite humbled soul.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And I was gonna say, what was your favorite subject in school? I got that you like music. What made you kind of step away from music?
So it's a bit of a long story. So in school I wanted to be a lawyer, but I love music. So towards the end of my secondary school, I'd changed my mind. So I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I want to go to school and I want to study production because I wanted to be a producer / DJ. So I studied music technology, live sound and engineering. By the end of that course, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. But I still wanted to be in music. So I had a friend that had like a open mic night event that she used to host. It was called Hip Hop Nation initially, but then it changed to Lyrically Gifted, and a lot of artists came through on that event. But I started helping out just on the nights and just like meeting people, networking, and just like seeing what the vibe was like. Again, I wasn't sure that was something I wanted to get into. Then I decided maybe I want to be a music manager. So my cousin, she had a boyfriend at the time that started a record label, so we would help him on that. I was like, okay, no, this isn't it either. Like I kept like trying, and then I'm like, okay, but it's not striking. Like there's nothing grabbing me here. But then I ended up meeting Karen Blackett. She's actually an MBE at an event with minorities finding work, and I didn't know she was the CEO of this company at the time, which was Mediacom, company I used to work for. The reason why I used to work for it was because I met her at the event and she loved me and she was just like, yeah, she wants me to come work for the company. I didn't get back to her. We had a whole conversation. A whole year later, I finally got back to her. By the way, when we had that initial conversation, she said she was going to help me out with the application, and she was doing so much to like.
She really wanted
push
you
me,
on board,
yeah. And she was the CEO of this global agency, and at that point I was like, I don't know what I want to do. So a year later, after working in hospitality, I came back to her. She got back to me in like less than 5 minutes and was just like, yeah, contact this person. But you're kind of on your own. And I respected that. And I was like, okay, I understand, because last year you was offering so much and I didn't take it.
So you felt like she kind of stepped back and thought, there's
so
only
let's
so
see
much that I can do.
She does her. I think she was kind of like, let's see if she does this herself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I managed to get on the course. I'm doing an apprenticeship. So I did that for a year. And one of the clients at the company at the time was Universal Music. So I was working on that account for a while, and other different accounts, Now Music. And then I kind of, as I progressed further into the company, the clients kind of changed. They became less music orientated.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, like, that's kind of how my love for music never changed, but I ended up in the advertising industry. So I was doing that until I quit to do hair. So yeah.
Such a passion. Describe 3 words.
Myself in 3 words.
Yeah. Describe yourself in 3 words.
I don't know. I would say honest. I would also say, like, well, how people see me. I'm quite blunt in a way. Just quite straight to the point.
There's nothing wrong with that in this world, guys. Please be straight to the point.
Yeah, but that kind of crosses
Yeah.
crosses over with honest. I think I'm genuine as well. Like everything I do genuinely
Comes from the heart, isn't it?
Yeah. Which can be a good and a bad thing, but
and you know what? Don't change, because as long as you know that you're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
you're just standing by you.
100%.
And I know sometimes we can be honest and we get stepped on and all that stuff, but just see it as learning curves and all that. Don't change you just because of other people's faults. All right. What inspired you to become a barber?
So, again, going back to when I was a kid, there was a couple occasions. So my brother and sister's dad, he had like a set of clippers, and there was a couple times where I would try and cut my brother's hair. I think it was like 2 occasions. My brother Courtney, I would try and cut his hair. And Courtney was always willing for me to try anything on him. Like he was that one brother that's like, okay, yeah,
go for it, isn't it? Yeah.
Literally. So I remember trying to give him a shape up. At that time, we never had trimmers. It was just a straight, like, typical, home kit. So it really couldn't do much. But I remember that. And then years later, I don't know, I just found a passion in watching haircuts on YouTube for some reason. I would just randomly watch anything. Like, I was definitely a YouTube girl for many years before it became even a thing. But there's a barber in America called 360 Jeezy. I'd watch his videos. I also would watch slider cuts.
Oh yes.
And yeah, also at the time I'm braiding people's hair on the side, like a few guys, friends or family that I know, and like they needed a shape up, and I always felt like it wasn't complete because they didn't have like a shape up and they weren't fully tidy. So I just thought, why not learn how to do it myself? So, and then obviously I had the passion of watching it, so I kind of had like I wasn't totally alien to it. So yeah, I kind of just thought, just one day let me try, and then I bought a set of clippers and started practicing on people.
Did you get a lot of like friends and that were like, oh, you can actually practice on me, like
not a lot,
line up? Because it seems so hard to actually. I've never barbered in my life. I couldn't do it.
You can, but
in it, I'll try. Have you ever like messed up like a
Yeah, definitely.
what is it called, a shape up, like a cut?
Yeah. Do you know what I used to do a lot initially? I used to cut a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like scratch them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I wasn't ever. Because it's kind of weird. I always say this. Like, I don't know what it feels like to get a haircut. So I don't know what is gonna hurt and what wouldn't. So yeah, I definitely cut a few people. My boyfriend at the time, I cut him a lot when I was like learning how to cut hair. But no, not everyone was willing. Not everyone was willing. But what's funny is now a lot of the people that I would say to, like, example, Conan, I've been doing crepes hair for years now. But Conan, there was one time I was watching him get a haircut by his barber at the time, and I just was making a joke that I'm going to sue your client. And at this point, I don't have any client. I can't cut hair, and they were just laughing at me like, yeah, well, whatever. Like, now I cut Conan's hair. Like, I always remind him. I'm like, remember when you used to never think I could cut hair? Like, yeah, shut up, man.
That was actually one of my questions, because one of my questions was, have you ever been in a situation where another member of staff's client has wanted you to become their permanent stylist? Like, and then obviously that mentions Conan is now your client. How do you resolve those kind of situations, like in a barber shop? Like, is there friction, or do you just have a conversation and be like, you know what, so and so wants me to do their hair from now on? Is that cool?
Do you know what? I would say I can't judge any other barbershop.
Yeah.
But in slider cuts, it's a little different. Like the kind of way that Mark has created the shop and his values and stuff are very much passed down to whoever joins the shop and is in the culture. So Mark is very much like anyone can go to anyone. Like, he doesn't like hold anyone hostage. Yeah,
that's a nice environment to be in, actually.
But if and I've taken on the same thing. If a client wants to cut with me today and next week they want to cut with someone else, it's perfectly fine. Like, you can't hold anyone hostage, and I think anything can happen in life. So don't just trust me. Like,
Exactly.
I don't want to be the only person that you trust with your hair. If anything, God forbid, anything ever happened to me, what are you going to do? You're going to have to find someone
And that's
anyway.
a good trait if you ever
Yeah.
wanted to like branch out and have your own barber shop or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's actually a good trait to have. Right. So you work at Slider Carts, as she was saying.
Yeah.
That's based in Bethnal Green, isn't it?
So it's Hackney Road.
Yeah.
The closest station is Hoxton Station.
Okay, guys. So
Yeah.
if you want to go and visit Shannon at Slider Cuts, there you go. How did that business relationship come to play? Like, how did you end up working for Slider Cuts salon?
So funny story. When
Barbershop.
I was when I was still working in advertising, this was like the last year of me working there. That's when I was like, okay, I want to learn how to cut hair. Like, so I reached out to a few barbers on like Instagram. At that point, I never had a hair page, so it was just my personal Instagram. And I reached out to Sada. He says I commented on something, but I thought I DM'd him. But anyway, he ignored me. Whatever it was, he didn't reply. And then there was another few barbers I ended up shadowing, and just like going into their barbershops, watching them cut hair. But yeah, then like a year later, like just as I had already quit my job, and I was like, okay, I'm jumping into 100%. Even though it was very hard at that time, like it wasn't an easy move. There was a lot of things happening in my life at the time, but I needed to just take that leap. Yeah, like I saw him post about wanting a braider on his page, and then I messaged him. At that point, I'd done a couple haircuts or like a shape up or two.
Yeah.
And I had messaged him, oh, okay, I braid, showed him some braids. And then at the end of the message, I said, also, these are my haircuts. And I sent him a few pictures of the haircuts. Like, I said, I learned how to cut myself now. Like, because obviously the previous thing was kind of shadowy. And yeah, then he got back to me and it was just like, oh, he invited me to come in. I remember the first day I went there, I cut like 3 people. And then I was meant to be an apprentice, but then he said, no, you're better than an apprentice. You're a junior barber, like on that first day. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then, yeah, ever since that was 2019, I started there. Yeah. So I've been there ever since. It's been a roller coaster of events, but ultimately it's a good barbershop. Mark is a really good role model and he sets a great example. A lot of things I've learned from Mark and what I'll do with business going forward. So yeah, we have a great relationship. Like in the shop, if you ever come there, there's a lot of banter going on.
I could see from some of your reels and stuff like that. It looks like it actually feels like a family unit kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's shown that much on socials. Like probably as much as it could be.
Yeah. But you
But
guys should make a little I wouldn't say a show, but like a day
a
in
lot
the
of
life
people
of
say that.
Slider Cuts. Do you know what I mean? Because
A lot
it's
of
fun.
people say that.
Okay, so what advice could you give to anyone wanting to transition from working at home to like going into a barbershop? So say if they're cutting hair or any hair related business working from home.
I would say working from home, you're in your own solo kind of environment. You interact with your clients, but there's so much more than just your clients that in a barbershop you would be interacting with. I go to the barbershop every day. There's 11 barbers, all their clients in the shop, kids, families, like I feel like a lot of working from home hairdressers, they have a very limited amount of people they come across and types of people. So they have their strict like clientele. Maybe if that's just women, maybe that's just men, maybe that's just children. In a barbershop you get everything. So I would say socially it's a lot more.
Yeah.
It sometimes can be a bit draining because you are interacting with so many people. It's just constant and then you're out of your own space. So I would say someone that likes to be around people, that likes that being in a barbershop is a good environment. If you're really more of an introverted person, then maybe having a solo working from home space is probably better. But both have their pros and cons, I think.
That's amazing advice, hon. Okay, what is the most iconic experience, like the most fun experience you've had with the Slider Cuts team in the shop and outside of working hours? Like, do you guys rave?
No. Iconic experience. I'm trying to think. Sorry. So something that comes kind of to mind. wouldn't say an iconic experience. It was a good experience. A few experiences. So we've done like London Fashion Week. I've done with the team. Brits Award, not Brits Award, sorry. Manifestation. Maybe that will come.
You will get there, babes.
Yeah. Mobile Awards. In the shop. I don't know, just the times when it's just good vibes, everyone's just having fun, listening to music. There's a lot of debates. There's a few like big characters of customers that come in the shop and like just cracking jokes and stuff. That's like funny, but I can't think of any iconic experiences that come straight to mind. But yeah, also like some, I would say, kind of iconic experiences is like people just of like big stature, like just come into the shop and as it's normal, like, and they just feel comfortable, and it's like to me that's like, yeah, this is sick. Like anyone can walk through, and yeah, you can tell how much of a good environment it is because you walk in and Anthony Joshua's in there, Stormzy, for example, Ludacris, he came to the shop every time, Killer Mike, so many different celebrities or people of like that stature, they come in the shop and they just feel comfortable. Like to me that shows like this is a great environment for people to come to, because anyone and everyone is welcome and can feel safe and don't feel like they have to like look over their shoulder or peep out.
That's really nice. Okay, we touched a bit on you opening like a salon, like a barbershop. Would you want to open a barbershop? And if you do open a barbershop, would you mainly focus on your male clientele, or would you branch off and kind of switch it up and just do females?
So I wouldn't open just a barbershop. Like if I was to open somewhere, it would be very much like a studio vibe. Like it would be everything really and truly. It would basically represent what I do. So I'm a barber, I'm a braider, I do locks. I don't know if I'm going to class myself as a loctician yet, but
your locks are pretty good though, to be fair.
Thank you. I've only recently started like actually doing them because I used to shy away from them a lot. They took so long, but now I'm getting a lot more comfortable, so I'm showing them more. But yeah, I would probably want, like, ideally I would definitely still have my niche, which is men, because I feel like that's how I've been able to create this lane for myself, is having a niche, and no one ever wanted to do men's hair. Like every braider, because I used to do like extensions and braids and stuff, but everyone was doing it, and I thought, no one wants to do men's hair. Like I'm doing that. Like and
forget the men.
Exactly, and then it's the interest in like learning how to cut hair and all that kind of stuff. It all kind of like was centered around men. I have 4 brothers. I played football as a kid. I was very tomboyish, so it kind of just naturally came to that. I do children as well, and I cut women's hair. So as a barber, I'm still like definitely a woman barber. Yeah, but I would say I don't think I would really get into like wigs or extensions again. I don't know. I just don't feel like that passion for it. And everything I want to do, I want it to be passionate. But I'm not saying like if I didn't have a shop, I would probably have someone that did that kind of stuff. But I just personally wouldn't. But again, I like the niche of men knowing, okay, this is where I go. Like this person they have a passion for doing men's hair. They don't shy away from it. But and I've noticed since I've been doing it, a lot more people are now starting to do men's hair, and I'm like, okay, I guess I started something here because no one was doing it.
That's what I was gonna say, because I feel like you're quite unique in the sense that obviously you're female, and it's not really that known for females to cut hair anyway. Like I've never seen, like personally, not saying that there isn't any female barbers out there, but I've never seen a female barber until I came across your page.
Really?
And now I feel like since I've seen you, I then start to see a lot more people cutting hair.
Yeah, I think in America it's more
you've already
popular.
got that niche already in London.
Yeah.
So I think just stick with that, grow that. You've already got some great clientele.
Yeah, definitely.
And that'll be good. Now, obviously you're working alongside Mark McIver. I hope I've said that right.
Yeah.
Found out of Slider Cuts if you guys didn't know. We spoke a little bit about the lessons that you've learned from him. What are some of the best lessons that you've taken from the experience that he's shown you since being in the shop?
Initially I would just say his humbleness. He's very humble. Like he's done a lot in his time of cutting hair, and I feel like he doesn't really give himself the credit that he's due, but he's done a lot. He is a pioneer in this industry, but he's so humble about it. So that is something I definitely like try to be as humble as I can. he respects, his respect for people is like, yeah, it's through the roof. Like, even just in terms of respecting privacy, respecting clients, respecting everyone around him, like that's definitely something that I aim to be more like. I'm not saying I'm not, but definitely as I grow, as I meet more people, as I like build my own team and stuff, there's a lot of things that, especially in terms of how he respects people, it doesn't need to be like being super nice to anyone, but like he just respects.
The respect level is there
Yeah,
for
it's
everyone.
just and then just like his belief in it's gonna happen, like he's gonna make it work. He has a way of like doing things where it's like, I'm just gonna do it, and it's gonna
he
gonna
has
come
high
to
hopes in
fruition.
himself. He believes in him,
But he doesn't at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like he does, but he would never say
Is
that.
that a thing where he believes it, but he's also criticizing himself like he's not?
So like, say for example, I'll just give a random example, but he would say he wanted to do something. Maybe he might not have the funds to do it at the time, but he's going to make sure he gets that, and he's going to do whatever he can because he knows it's going to work out. Like, he's going to put himself in positions where most people wouldn't, because they're like, oh, that's too risky, but he will, because he has to believe that it's going to work out. It's going to have to. Like,
that's great, because it's like, you're going to get it done regardless. And I know never, like, everyone who is probably perfected their niche or whatever, they get it done, but they always have that thing in the back of their mind thinking, I can't. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. But they know they're going to get it done at the same time.
And that's kind of like why I decided to do hair. It was literally off a whim. Like, one day I just decided I was working. I had a great job. Like, I worked on great clients. It was a good money. I worked in Holborn in the city job. It was great. But one day I was just like, there was actually Steve Harvey. He made a talk once, like it was like a behind the scenes of his show, and he basically said, if you don't jump, how do you know if your parachute will work? And that always stuck with me. And then even when I was still working in that company, there was a thing that TED Talks, but it was their talks, and I did a talk, and it was basically talking about that and having that mindset. And I'm like, I'm here, like I'm trying to show people, like, listen, just jump, just take a leap, like follow your dreams. And I'm like, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? And then it just took that to click for me, and then I did, and I was like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna have to. Like, so yeah, I think I already have that mindset. So that's why I resonate with him a lot. But yeah, that's definitely something I remind myself of because I see it.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely. Have you had any or experienced any hardships by working in a male predominant industry?
Being the only woman it has its pros and cons again. So I stand out because I'm a woman. But the male ego is a thing, man. It's a thing. It's actually a thing. And it's something,
it needs to be fed, guys.
Yeah. And I'm a very, would I say I'm a dominant female woman? Maybe I'm a bit of a dominant character, right? So I tend to clash a lot with men because we both kind of will go head to head. And so yeah, I have a lot of scenarios in the shop where that's the case, with banter or just like a ego battle. But in general, again, like I said, like as a kid, I was always around the boys. I was very much, I wanted to do everything that boys did, but I wanted to do it better. So I would always, anything my brothers could do, I wanted to be better than them. Like genuinely, like, and I would be outside, like with my brothers playing football and stuff, and I'll be tackling them like in front of people just so they can see, like, yeah, your sister's better than you. Like that's what they would get all the time. Like, so yeah, I've always just had that mindset. So I've never been intimidated to be around men. I get that question a lot, as in like women, like, how can you be around so much men all the time? I'm like, it's nothing to me. Like
you said, you have your brothers, and it's kind of been there.
Literally,
that you're supposed to do. Okay. Do you have any icons within the industry, the barbering industry, that you aspire to be like?
So again, so I'd say Slider Cuts, Mark McIver. HD Cuts, I feel like he's become, in the last few years, definitely he's like skyrocketed.
Blossomed, didn't it?
Yeah. He was another barber that I don't know if I did message him, but I think I did, about shadowing when I first started learning how to cut hair. I remember I saw him on socials because I think he was Usain Bolt's hair barber, and he's just another person that I would just respect. His grind is crazy. Like, I don't know when does he sleep? Constantly. When does he sleep? I don't.
Yeah.
I have no idea if he
Okay.
sleeps or not. But yeah, he's definitely someone that I look up to. Yeah, there isn't. Do you know what? It's crazy because I feel like I'm building my own lane in this industry. Like, there's not many. There's definitely like braiders. Like, for example, I've always loved your hair. Like, I feel like your hair's so neat and crisp, and yeah, I've always like followed you. So there's like braiders, and then there's barbers, and like, but there's no one like
you kind of want to be
that.
yourself and take that
Yeah,
lane, but you can take tips from
yeah, I
others.
take from both. Yeah. So there's just not one person or one kind of person that does it a certain way that I follow, but there's a lot of things I get from both braiders and barbers.
Yeah, that's amazing. Are you currently in a relationship?
No.
Okay. Have you been in a relationship whilst barbering full time?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
For
because I
4
know a lot of
years, roughly
people
3
want
or
to
4
know,
years.
like, have questions. Maybe they're in this position. At the time, did your partner have an issue with you working around guys, like 24, like most of your client base being male?
No, that was an initial. Do you know what? My ex, he we got together kind of just as I was starting to take this seriously. So I'd quit my job. It was in the midst of that. So there was like between me quitting my job and working at Cider Cuts, it was like 6 months. And maybe like 4 to 6 months. But yeah, he met me like in the lows. I was in the valleys. I was like, definitely a few people were helping me out at the time. Like friends and stuff, like they were definitely
your support system, like during those hard times.
But definitely it was in the valley. So when I met him, it was like, okay, I'm in the middle of trying to chase my dreams. So, but yeah, he was definitely like, he would help me, as in he would let me practice on his hair, practice cutting his hair. He also had hair at the top, so you'd have half a cut and half braids. I'll be doing his braids anyway. So yeah, he definitely helped. In terms of like he working in the barbershop, no, there wasn't an issue with that. He would come to the barbershop and he was familiar with everyone there. And then he knew as well, like, this is what I was doing. It was men's hair. Like, he knew that from the jump. So he knew that was to come, and it was going to be more. And so, yeah. But I don't know. Now I feel like, dating wise, I feel like it's a little bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. Not a stain, but like when guys hear that I do men's hair, they get a bit like,
guys, ladies, let me say, for all the female barbers out there, if your man does not want to support you and he knew this was your niche from the beginning, then maybe you don't need him.
Get rid.
Get rid. No, I'm joking.
I can understand. I can't understand, but I can understand why men would feel a little bit intimidated because, for example, I've done like some crazy, like, as in really respected legends in the industry, like from Nas to Kendrick Lamar to Frank Ocean to so many different people and names that people are like, whoa. I can understand if a man doesn't feel any way equivalent to that man, he might. It's just a men thing, innit? It's just an ego thing again. It has nothing to do with what you're like as a person. But again, I keep everything professional, and as long as you do, and there's no boundaries crossed, like, you would have no issue, I don't think.
Yeah. Right. My next question was obviously your never-ending list of A-list guests, clients. I know you mentioned that Ludacris was one of your favorite, but do you have any other favorites and why?
Favorites. I feel like everyone. I've never really come across anyone that I don't like as a person. Everyone's been pretty cool, like super cool. Like giving me opportunities that I would never have thought to have. Some people have become friends now. Like a few of the people that you initially named, either they were my friend before I was doing hair, or like I've built a friendship with them through hair. Yeah, like everyone's pretty cool. Like I'm very. I feel like I'm easygoing. Like I'm pretty easy to get on with. So we will, if I'm doing someone's hair, like we'll just be chatting about regular stuff, and like, yeah, I just get that same vibe that I give to them, and then
you kind of feed off each
cool,
other, isn't
yeah.
it? And that's nice. So the artist Notes also had the pleasure of you being his hairstylist.
Yeah, that was I was doing male grooming for him, so I was like just making sure he looked
decent for the part,
Yeah.
and that was for New Era Europe and Clash magazine. How was that for you?
Yeah.
Was this like the first time you actually? Was this like one of the first times you actually had to prep a celebrity for a shoot?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think that actually was, and that was pretty early on in my
Yeah. I think it was
doing this
2019,
professionally.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think it was 2019 before lockdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, a whole
Lockdown.
two,
That.
yeah, literally a whole nearly
Yeah.
2 years after that, I hadn't done much of that. But yeah, no, I think that was my first like male grooming booking.
Yeah.
So I think I had to rub oil on him or something at some point, which is kind
Make
of
him
funny.
look moisturized.
Yeah, like I don't know if you've seen in the pictures, but his skin
Yeah.
looks like super glossy because he's
Yeah.
got like this. I don't know how to describe the texture, but the light, it changes color with the light.
Oh, okay.
So I think that whole look, he needed to look really shiny.
Yeah.
So I remember, I had to rub oil on him. That was kind of funny.
Um,
But yeah, he was cool. That was a pretty cool
yeah.
like booking. That was the first time I actually met him. And probably the last. I think I haven't met him ever since then. But yeah, that was cool.
If you could choose one celebrity in the whole, actually, I keep on saying celebrities, guys. It could be anyone. They don't have to be a celebrity in the whole world. In this world, who would it be?
To do hair for?
Yeah, to either cut. I say cut because I know that's your niche.
Yeah.
Or braid. It's up to you. Or locks.
Okay, like my dream. I don't know if I should put it out there actually because people I love Beyonce. That's just one thing. So if I ever could braid under her wig or something, I don't know, like
you should reach out to her. She's doing like
I would
a
love
hair.
to.
Is it a hair care line or someone told me she's doing something
Really?
like bringing out her own hair care products or something. Now maybe you should reach out.
Never heard about that. But yeah, I would love to. I know I don't do the hair that she gets, but if I could braid under a wig or something like that, I would love. I don't mind. But yeah, and then do you know what? I would love to cut Denzel Washington's hair. Yeah. I don't know. I always see his haircuts on movies, and saying that when I was a kid and when I was younger, I just used to. I'm watching a movie. I'm looking at their hair. Like I'm looking at everything about their hair and everything, and I'm critiquing it and changing it. And that
means
before
it's
I
meant to
could,
be.
yeah, before I even knew that's what I would be doing. And then now I see my hair in movies. I'm like, there's going to be someone doing the same to me. But yeah, no, I would probably say Denzel Washington. I just always want to cut his hair, and then braiding or locks. I would love to do like Lil Wayne or someone. Like no, I'm lying. Jay-Z. I want to cut his hair off.
Yeah, Jay-Z.
I want to cut it or do something to it.
I feel like Jay-Z looked a lot younger with his haircut. Lil Wayne could definitely do a lock neaten up because I remember I really love Lil Wayne's locks when he done was it the Lollipop or
yeah, I remember his
the Officer songs. They were really nice then.
Yeah,
so maybe you got to hook
any
up.
of those people. I would love to.
Guys, if you see this podcast, hopefully one day you will. If you care about hair, reach out to Shannon from Slider Cuts. She's got you covered. All right. So I'll make myself laugh. Now, obviously, you are beautiful, Shan.
Thanks.
Just like the pictures, guys. Just like her lives and all of that stuff. What is the cheesiest and the sweetest chat up line or flirt a guy has ever tried with you?
So many. There's actually so many. I wouldn't say. I can't remember lines, but
have they tried in the workplace? Let's shorten it down. Not outside of work, maybe in the workplace or like a client or.
No, yeah, clients say they do say some slick kind of things. That I'm like, yeah. But do you know what? It's harder recently. When I was in a relationship, which was majority of the time I've been doing hair, it was easy. I would just talk about my boyfriend all the time.
Yeah.
Just make them very much know that this is not it. But now I'm single, it's kind of harder to
push them off.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll just ignore them. But the funny thing is the messages I get in my DMs. It's like, people will just be like, I just want you to cut my hair so you can stare at you. And I'm like, you are crazy.
That's a bit
it's funny
creepy.
though. It's funny.
We love that though. We love the appreciation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, book me then.
Yeah. Book Shannon.
But then I feel a bit awkward sometimes. I get a bit awkward. I'm like, I hope you don't book me. Because I'm like, the thing is as well, because of the male dominated industry I'm in, people know where I work. Guys could just turn up to my job.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
Strangers, weirdos, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying weirdos.
But at the same time, I feel like the relationships you have with your team, like your the other staff members there as well, I think if they see you in an uncomfortable situation, they'll probably step in and be like,
yeah, luckily
relax.
I've not really been in any uncomfortable situations in the shop. But yeah, I do get that. Or I'll be outside, like, and now it's kind of weird. I don't consider myself in any way famous or anything.
Yeah.
But people come up to me on the street, or I'll be at a party or something, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you do hair? You're Shannon Simon, isn't it? You do hair?" And I'm like, "How do you know?" At first, I'm just thinking like, "How do you know I do hair? How do you?" I barely show myself on my page,
Yeah.
so I'm like, people will remember me, and I'm like, oh, it's awkward.
You know what? That can be, it can be a little bit invasive, but at the same time, I really hope that it shows you that you're actually doing a great job
No, I do. I
and to
do
keep
appreciate
going.
it. I
Yeah.
do, because but I can imagine for you, like, there's definitely women that, because majority of your clients are
Yeah.
women, right? It's like when you see a girl, like, "Oh, you do hair,"
Yeah.
like it's just more a bit like,
Yeah.
it's another girl.
Yeah.
When it's
Exactly.
like
A guy.
initially,
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of a party and some guys are, "Oh, cut my hair," and I'm like,
That's their chat up
I'm
line.
trying to think,
Cut
do I
my-
know you? Like, or
Yeah.
they'll just call me Shannon or Shannon. I'm like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I'm
Like they
looking at them, and I'm
actually know
like,
you.
I
Yeah.
don't know you. But then they're like, what? Like, and then they know, then they make it clear that, oh, I know you do hair and something. I'm like, oh, okay, like, cool. But initially, I'm just like, just because you're a man in it, I'm just like, whoa, what do you want from me? But yeah, it's cool. It's not.
Yeah, it's just
It's
part
not.
of it,
Yeah,
isn't
it's just
it?
part of it again. Yeah.
Okay, so what does a life in the day of Shannon look like from you wake up in the morning till you go to sleep?
As of recent, I feel like I don't stop working.
Yeah.
So usually I might start work from like 8 or 9 in the morning. And probably finish 7, 8
Yeah.
in the night, sometimes 9. I go home, repeat.
Yeah.
Just come.
Cycle, yeah.
Literally, it feels like a cycle. But I feel like I'm in that mode right now where actually there's a lot in betweens. Say I go to work.
Yeah.
Work, I usually have like a bit of like maybe like an hour break if I get that, if I'm not running over, so on and so forth. But most of the days I'm fully booked as well. I have an array of clients from men, women,
Yeah.
children. I love the children.
They're so cute. The
They're
children
so
on your page
cute.
are the cutest. You need to do like a portfolio just of the kids.
No, they are so cute. They're
Yeah,
all my
they are
favorites as
beautiful,
well. They
man.
love me,
Yeah.
and they give me even other people's clients, little kids. Like one of the clients in the shop, little boy. He bought me flowers for Christmas, and like he's not even my client, but yeah, they're just so
See,
sweet. I love
teach
all
your
the
son
kids. I
manners
love the
from
kids.
young.
They're
Well
so
done to
sweet.
you guys.
No, honestly, and I
That
love his
is
parents
the
as well.
sweetest, yeah.
But yeah, like I have my little favorites. Like I always build. I love children in it. If I wasn't if I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I would probably have ended up doing something to do with kids, maybe nannying or like maybe childcare, like working in nursery or even like teaching and stuff. I always loved doing stuff like that, and it makes sense because I've got 6 younger siblings, loads of cousins, like 8 younger nieces and nephews now.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I'm always around kids. I just they love me. I love
Yeah.
them. So yeah, you'll see a lot of kids on my page.
Amazing. And I was gonna say, do you indulge in any hobbies? But from what you just explained, it seems like there's no time for hobbies just right now, in this
Not
current
currently.
mode.
Like literally, my days off is either like a godchild or a niece or nephew
Yeah.
is asked to do
Just trying
something
to
with
catch up,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, literally, as I said, I hurt my tailbone. That was for me and my nephew being out. We went to some like air thrill, some like
Oh, that looks fun, you know.
thing.
Is that the thing
Yeah,
with the
that's
massive bouncy car?
yeah,
Yeah. And the free slush.
that's where I
Oh,
hurt myself.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what it feels like. Like it's
Yeah.
always occupied. My weekends are occupied
Mhm.
by that. But I love kids. I love giving them the energy because they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be
Yeah.
someone. So I want to pour into them as much as I can. And one day hopefully I'll have my own. So again, I'll have no free time.
Oh, that's a blessing.
But yeah,
man.
and I've started reading recently.
Yeah.
And learning how to play chess.
I have
So
no clue how to play. Is it because I know it's more complicated than just moving a piece. What is the ins and
yeah,
outs of it? Like,
it's very much a forward thinking game.
yeah.
Like you have to really use your brain. Like you have to think 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
And you have to think about what the next person,
I
what
need
the
to
move
play
the next
that.
person's
Maybe
gonna
we should
make.
link up and play one
No,
time.
like,
'Cause I
honestly,
don't
I'm
have a
recruiting members. I've got the app on my phone as well. It's
I'm gonna
literally-
download an app now just because of that. What advice would you give the younger Shan? Like it doesn't have to be about work related, just personal
Mhm.
advice that you would give your younger self with all the knowledge and experience that you've had or gone through.
So I have no regrets, and I feel like everything that has happened in the way it should. But I would probably advise myself to be less scared because there's moments where, as much as I've taken a leap and I've been brave about things, and I've like, yeah, I would say there was a few occasions where I definitely was scared of anything, and I think that prohibited me from making some moves earlier. than I could have. But yeah, and then just to expect anything.
Yeah. And that's actually a really great way to view things as well. All right, now guys, we're going to jump into a bit of social media. Just hit the mic. All right, so what is your stance? Because obviously you have over 100K followers on your Instagram right now. You've got a few followers on TikTok as well. So let's talk about Instagram right now. What is your stance on followers? That do you feel like the amount of followers that you have has been very beneficial to your business, or do you feel like it doesn't really matter?
I think it has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Ever since I did get over 100,000 followers, I feel like Instagram started.
I don't even follow Instagram no more. I don't even do hashtags or anything because we'll get into that on the
Yeah.
interview that I do for myself.
I think, yeah, it's like the algorithm and how it works. It's like now they show my stuff to less people. So less of my actual followers get to see my work anyway. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. I just try to forget about likes, forget about follows, and just post. I feel like consistency is most beneficial because I feel like even before I had so many followers, I was just posting every single day, maybe even twice a day. And just being consistent, being in people's faces, isn't it? Like, what is that saying? Out of sight, out of mind. So if people don't see you, they're gonna forget about you. So yeah, I would say to people not to worry about likes, not to worry about how many followers you have. Just be consistent, and whoever's gonna book you or whatever, whoever's gonna show love to your business will, no matter what. But I think about 40% of my following are in America.
Yeah.
So Americans, they show love on socials. That's just a thing they do. But it's not the most helpful, obviously, because it's like
you're based in the
yeah, I'm in a whole other time zone than them. Trying to figure out when best to post and accommodate both audiences is always a battle I'm trying to figure out. And it's forever changing. So yeah.
So that was obviously my next question. My next question was if you could give a little bit of advice for those who are starting a business and want to gain their like more following or grow their following. So guys, it's not about, don't focus on how much followers you have, sorry. Stay consistent. Always be your own competitor, and then from there it will gradually grow. Obviously, yes, you may have to follow some algorithms. I don't have any advice on that. I don't know how it works, but mainly stay consistent. Just post anything that you want, to be fair. Just be you. And the followers will grow.
Another thing I would say, which I haven't totally done, which I'm trying to get to, that is I feel like people want to see who's behind the work. As much as I'm like, it's about the work. Like, do you like the work? And then book me. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad that you say that because I had a thing like, this is just a personal thing for me. So I never used to put my thing on social media, like my face or anything like that. I just used to post work. People were probably thinking, who is this posting work? But the way I saw it is, yes, I'm a braider. But obviously I'm obviously a mum and I have my own life. I don't need anyone to see that, but sometimes I can see how that can be misconstrued in the sense that I just don't want people to know anything about me. So it is important to show your face. You don't have to show everything, like Shan was saying. But what would you say to the listeners, that what could they do if they're anxious about showing their face? What little things could they do to like push themselves out there?
So we'll be going through the same struggle, because me too. I don't, again, I've never wanted to be in the limelight of what I do. But the more I grow, it's like that's what people want to see. People will message me like, "Oh, can you go live? Can you we want to see more?" Like, so it's like it's a give and take. I feel like you need to be comfortable with what you post. So anything you're uncomfortable with, don't post. If you don't want people to know what car you drive, don't post your car. If you don't want people to know where you live, don't post anywhere where you live. Like, be very particular in the kind of information that you are showing. But try to be just as authentic as possible. So, and again, I'm also not the person that wants to be on camera all the time. If you see how I go to work, honestly, all my clients would know.
I know you.
I'm in a cap. I'm in a cap because I don't do my hair.
Shan's
like,
ready to work.
Honestly, because do you know what? I try to not put too much gel and stuff in my hair. So if my hair's not done, I'm flinging on the cap and I'm going about my day. Like, but like how people see me outside is not what they see in the shops. I sometimes don't really want that to cross paths because I believe, I'm an individual. I'm not more than just a braider, a barber. So yeah, I've always been kind of like hesitant, but I feel like now I'm becoming a little bit more interactive. I'm trying to get better. Because as much as people follow me, they want me to interact more.
And that will come,
makes
the more you
sense.
do it, the more you step out of your comfort zone, that will just come naturally to you. And then soon you're going to look back and think, oh, well, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it all works in good timing. Now, okay, so you're verified on Instagram right now. Could you let the listeners know like the step-by-step process? So they don't have to be specialized in hair, they could be in any business and they're on Instagram and they want to get verified. What's the step-by-steps that you had to take to get verified, and what are the benefits of being verified?
So there's a funny story to this. I am not technically verified by Instagram. I've applied for verification a few times, but I'm paying a subscription. The only reason why is that you can see how many followers I have, genuine followers. I haven't bought any followers. And I felt like I was being, what's it called?
Is it like black?
Shadow banned,
Oh, okay.
So I thought maybe if my page is verified, Instagram might push me
had an issue
a little
with
bit
that
more.
shadow banning, quite a few
So recently I just thought to myself, so what, verification is just a verification from Instagram. I'm like, if people buy it, people don't buy it. So I have a plan behind it, and I will take it off if I feel like it's not working. But yeah, I would consistently be posting, and I felt like 1,000 people were seeing my stuff, and I'm like, but compared to the followers I have, like, Instagram's obviously stopping something here. So I thought maybe if I verify my page, if they would do anything to help push my account. And I feel like a slight increase, but then I'm not 100% sure because I'm a bit more consistent now. So yeah, I'm just kind of balancing it. When it comes to verification, I feel like you have Instagram's criteria is, I think you have to have like 4 or 5 publications with your specific name.
For those who don't know what a publication is, could you just give them a quick rundown?
So that would be like a news article, basically your name featured in either a news article, online article. I think those
just any like
things,
multimedia companies, editorials, fashion designer, like, do you know what I mean? All of those.
So crazy thing is I do have about 4. They're just all
one more, Shan.
No, but they're all like, some of them they don't actually consider. So I got someone to do it for me. Someone that has,
they don't
like,
consider that actual mention in a.
There's specific. There's specific publications that they accept out of those.
Okay.
So I think I did hair for Vogue. I did hair for Vogue twice actually. I have a publication in Creative Hair magazine about me as a rising star. I have a few different in the barber, in another barber magazine. I have an article, but they're not
qualified,
considered. So I just thought, I don't care. Anyone that asks me, people are messaging me, oh my god, you're verified. I'm like, I'm technically not, but
because
I'm doing whatever I can do to help push my page.
You're doing it for a reason, like you said, you have a plan behind it, and also for the shadow banning reasons as well. It gets sad when people feel like that tick justifies who they are.
I don't. That's why I tell people. People will lie and say, "Yeah, I'm verified." No, I verify myself.
That tick does not justify who you are, guys. I just want everyone out there that feels like having a tick. That's who you are, and that will make you better. It's not going to make you better. The work that you put into it and the passion behind it is what's going to make you better. So don't panic about not having a tick. Unless you have a plan like Shannon and you're going to stick to that plan, don't stress about it.
And if I end up getting verified by Instagram one day, then I got verified by them. But I don't care for that, honestly. That's not a big deal for me. Like I said, being verified isn't anything really.
And I think your work stands out for itself. You don't need to do
but just in the notifications where that will sit in terms of like verified accounts get prioritized and they show up more. They get,
just makes
like,
sense. It pushes you to
so I'm just trying to see if it does anything for my page, and brings the engagement back to where it was.
And that would be good, you know, if you realize that the strategy that you're using actually works. Maybe you can write like a little, maybe not a booklet, but a little like self-help guide, just in case anyone's having that issue. Do you know what I mean? And then you can just sell it.
Or tips, because I feel like if it's there, also remember it's there. And also Instagram are becoming a bit more strict now
Mhm.
with who they verify because they have implemented
Yeah.
these kind of things, getting people to pay for a verification tick and so on and so forth. I think even Twitter, or X, everyone has to pay. No one's verified. It doesn't matter who you are. No one's
Yeah.
officially verified. So at this point, a tick is a tick. Like I feel like either you have it or you don't. But if you're using it for a specific reason, if you feel like it's going to help push your page, then do
Like,
that.
have you ever like paid for promotions before? You know, like when you post and it says
Yeah,
boost
like
post.
boosted.
Have you done that recently?
I think I did it on one. So a lot of my posts I
I
have music,
Yeah.
so they don't allow me to. But I feel like there was one. I think maybe I had a
Yeah.
voiceover that I boosted, just not too much. Which goes back to my last job was in advertising. That's what I did
Yeah.
for like some huge brands. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I worked on socials. I worked on TV, radio. But when I was working on socials, that was my job
Yeah.
to put ads on
Yeah.
socials. So I'm quite familiar with the platforms, and I feel like they work for what they do. If you choose specific audiences, you can get
The
good
reason why I
outwork
bring
up.
that up is because I done one not too long ago.
Hmm.
And I know Instagram is using Meta now. So I
Yeah,
think I done a boost for like £24 or something. But then
yeah.
Meta was charging my PayPal £2. They were charging me £2 for every £2 that I spent on the boost.
Really?
Yeah. So from then I was like, I just cancelled the direct debit from the PayPal, and I was like, what is going on? So I
Does it
need to
come
look
under
into that,
Facebook?
guys.
The
Huh?
charge? Does the charge come under Facebook?
Yes, it comes under
Okay,
Facebook.
that makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Because I think
yes.
they've been doing the same to me.
Yeah, so guys, just if you do want to boost a post on Instagram, just do your research, because I do believe that Meta now charges you once you've paid to boost your post.
Hmm.
So I can't remember if it's £2 every £2 that you spend on a boost, sorry. But just double check and do your research before. All right. What is one piece of advice that you would give to all listeners?
Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself. That's something I've never shied away from being. I'm very much 100% authentically myself. I don't I don't. Do you know what? This is something that remember the CEO I told you I met for my last company, Karen Blackett. She always used to say, don't cover.
Yeah.
And what she meant by that is, you come to work, don't cover, don't be someone else. You'll not be who you are.
Yeah.
Like, because you're literally covering, and you're going to go outside and you're going to take off that cover and you're going to be yourself. Like, be yourself wherever you are, every environment. Obviously, you have to alter some
Adjust.
things, adjust some things, but ultimately, genuinely who you are, be yourself. And I feel like being yourself will take you some places you never know
Yeah.
that you've ever been in. Because, like I said, I feel like being myself has given me a lot of opportunities. Just being myself, and people like respecting that, understanding that. Word of mouth, people just having conversations, referring people to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like being myself has got me to where I am. So I would always say that to everyone.
That is great advice as well, because at the end of the day, once you be yourself, whoever don't like it, they'll just move away from you.
Exactly.
Then you got less like rubbish
Yeah.
following you. Let's put it that way. What are you most thankful for to
I'm
this
most
day?
thankful for. I would say my family. Just having people in my life to love. I'm thankful for people that do support me, people that have always supported me, people that don't shy away from showing me love and giving me my praises. And people that can just say, I'm proud of you. Like, that I appreciate the most. So I'm thankful for anyone in my life that does that, because they don't know the small little pushes that you need sometimes. So yeah, as much as working is difficult, life is difficult. Yeah, as much as like I feel like we're in jobs that we are passionate about, and not many people get the opportunity to, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. And people noticing that and realize it and giving you those pops and recognizing you for the work that you've put in. I feel like those people are super important. So thankful for those, and I'm thankful to myself for just not having fear in a way. Like, and really just, because if I didn't have the mindset I don't know where I'd be. Like, so I'm thankful for myself for pushing through, because I've had lots of ups and downs. I've been through a lot in life that not many people would know about. I don't really talk about, but like, if I didn't push through those moments, I wouldn't be where I am
They've
now.
made you who you are today.
Yeah, so I'm just thankful for all of that. Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing. Shan, it has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you too.
At the end of every podcast, my guest gets to ask me 2 questions. It could be personal, it could be business. So yeah, shoot away.
Okay. How do you juggle being a mum and doing hair? Because obviously I haven't had kids yet. I want to know kind of
If I'm
what it's
honest,
like.
I don't. I'm joking. It's okay. Being a mum and doing hair is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't sit here and be like, it's okay. I'm grateful for my mum
Mm-hmm.
because my mum will have. So I've basically got my daughter who's 11 and my son who's 2. So my daughter's at school most of the time and she has
Yeah.
after school curricular activities. So she's away while I'm working, but my son is with my mum. So I'm grateful for my mum. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because without her, it would be a hassle. And there's sometimes you just have to literally work around your kids as well. Like I work from
Mm-hmm.
home, which is obviously more real. I have been working from home since COVID, to be honest with you,
Okay.
because I couldn't take the whole shops closing down. You have to stop customers, all of that stuff. So I've been working at home. So sometimes if I don't get childcare, my children are actually working. They're there
Mm-hmm.
basically. But it's hard. It's hard. You just have to kind of stick at it and just get it done. That's what you have
Yeah.
to do. Yeah.
And my other question was, what do you learn from your customers? What have you learned from your customers?
I have a range of clients, so I feel like I learn a lot of things from understanding how mortgages work because a lot of them work in finance and all of that stuff to dealing with children when they're going through their ups and downs. Like my child is she's becoming a teenager, so she's got her emotions all over the place. I have clients that specialize in those kind of aspects of life. um I learned that you can't always judge yourself, kind of thing. You can't be your worst critic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good, other times it's not, because it kind of holds you back
Mm-hmm.
from doing what you actually need to get done. um a lot of patience I learned from my clients as well. um I learned from my client how much great work I actually do. Because with me, sometimes I see it as because I've got so much going on just with like mum life and then
Mm-hmm.
work life.
Yeah.
It's like you don't give, like we was going back to, you don't give yourself credit. So it's nice when clients actually come to you and be like, you're doing a great job at
Mm-hmm.
this. Do you know what I mean? You're actually
Yeah.
growing and stuff like that.
I have a
When,
follow-up question,
yeah,
sorry. So do you this is something that led me to do hair as well, but like when you see your hair like out and you see
yeah,
maybe someone walking the street with your hair, or you see your hair and any like anything you've done hair for, like editorial or
yeah,
anything, like what is the feeling that you get from that?
gratefulness.
Mm.
I'm always grateful. I feel like it's important to be grateful for everything that you do in life, even though
Yeah,
you feel like you
definitely.
haven't done the best at it. Be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But going back to being my own critique as well, because how I
Yeah.
see it is obviously you have people that you aspire to be like, or you have someone's work that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Don't compare yourself to people. So every time I
100%.
see a piece of work, I'm like, oh, okay, I could have done that better. Next time I do that style, I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
So I kind of, like you were saying, you watch films and then you see a haircut go wrong. It's kind of like that. You critique your own work
Yeah.
at the
I feel
same
like you kind
time.
of have to as well though, because
Yeah.
that means you're forever growing.
Yeah.
If you always think that you're just the best at what you do, because I never think I'm the best.
Mhm.
I think there's so many braiders way better than me. There's so many
Yeah.
barbers better than me, but you have to believe in yourself as well. You can't
Exactly.
always like no, but and at the same time you have to critique your stuff because that's how you get better.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
it's true, and it's like I feel like there's a sense of fullness when I see my work
mhm.
because there's always pressures behind it. Like for instance, when I said um sometimes I have my kids
Yeah.
around me while I'm working, I might have done a long hairstyle or whatever, and I look back at it and it looks perfect, and you think they're in a peaceful environment, but I'm thinking the stress that I went through just to try and stay calm
Yeah.
so that my client feels comfortable. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of okay. I got through this now.
Mhm.
I respect what I did, and
Amazing.
it's out there.
But well done though. I genuinely have always been a fan of your work.
Thank you.
And yeah, I feel like your stuff's so clean.
Yeah.
Like
If you scroll all the way down to my page, my work was not like this, but I feel like anyone doing hair, whether it's barbering, braiding, straightening, wigs, be your own critique. Look at your work and think, what can I do better next time?
Mhm.
Because like you may look at someone else's work, but they may have a different hand placement to you.
Yeah.
But their just situations may just be different. Just keep in mind that you can always do better, and just don't be judgmental. And yeah.
And I think also post your work, even if you don't think
Yeah.
it's the best, because a lot of my work I don't even think it's that good.
Yeah.
I'll post it just so I know,
Mhm.
okay, I can go back and look at that. And
Yeah.
next time I do it, I approach it differently, or I do this differently to make it better. But yeah, I agree with what you said, like critique it.
Nice. I will do. I'm thinking to do a podcast where I'm the guest and someone is just asking me questions from whoever wants to know a question.
I'm sure it will come.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will.
But no, it's good. Okay, Shan. So if anyone wants to follow your journey, could you just look into the camera and tell them where they can find you on all platforms?
So I'm Shan Styling on Instagram and TikTok. I don't actually use TikTok. I have to get better at that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move into that more, but mainly Instagram. Shan Styling, ShanStyling. You can DM me there if you have any questions or inquiries. And I'm currently based at Cider Cuts in Hackney Road. So that's where I do hair from. But yeah.
So guys, thank you for watching. All my information will be in the bio below. I will also post Shan's information in the bio below as well, in case you didn't catch it. Please like, share, subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the bigger the guests get, and hopefully I've got some really great guests in mind, guys. And I will also be traveling with it as well. So the greater my subscribers grow, the more the clients grow. The guests grow, sorry. So yeah, thank you, Shan. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
You too.